Hello and welcome to another edition of Drum Geeks in the Shed. This time round we thought we would talk about bass drum beaters, which possibly might not be the most exciting of topics, but certainly changing the bass drum beater will definitely change your sound and possibly your playing too. So we've got an assortment of bass drum beaters here. Right, so just for the sake of the audio side of things, we've got all of the Vic Firth Vic Kick series. We've got a Lowboy, we've got an Axis, sort of hard rubber, small, I'm not even sure what you'd call that, to be honest. Hammer. It's a hammer type thing. We've got the standard DW hard edged, hard plastic beater, and you got the standard felt sort of beater, and I also got a I can't remember what DW called this actually. We've got a DW. It's the maroon one. I don't know what they call it. You know, I mean, it's got like the hard sort of
Is that solid?
sort of foam. Okay. Hard centered one. It sounds like a sweetie, to be honest. And the last one, which is basically a cork beater, which I've had, I think probably came with my first bass drum pedal, and I'm pretty sure I have never used, but I keep it around anyway. Oh, and we've also got the
Flex
beater, which is fairly new actually, and I've been trying these out quite recently. So, I mean, where'd you start, really?
Okay, let's start with, let's take this Vic Firth one. So this is their standard felt one. Okay?
Yeah.
We might as well start there, because this is...
I mean, I always thought that basically felt was... certainly when I started playing 30 years ago, felt was kind of pretty much the only option you had, and was kind of the thing that came with the pedal.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, this one, obviously, it's not like a ball. It's this kind of round but flat kind of design, and it's designed with two surfaces to hit on it.
Yeah.
So you can obviously, I don't know if you get more attack from hitting with the smaller area.
You know, I found that there's a little bit more attack with the sort of the edge side, and a little bit more of a fatter sound with the flat side.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing really that surprising in that respect, because it's probably what, if you think about it, that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
But I mean, I actually like that beater.
Yeah.
I found that I mean, I was actually gigging with the wood version, just because it had a little bit more click to it. But I was rather surprised that the felt version gave us quite a fatter sound as it did. I mean, I really liked that about it actually.
Yeah.
I was admittedly I was actually a little bit surprised. You know, that it was quite as sort of big sounding as it actually was. But
because I mean, if we've got that, and then we take this is your more classic kind of felt beater, core of, do you know, rubber covered in felt?
I don't know actually. I would guess it probably is rubber. Yeah.
Obviously completely round.
Yeah.
How do you think? When was the last time you used this?
I couldn't tell you. But see, the thing is, I mean, just going off on tangent for a minute. I mean, so this is the DW hard.
Yeah.
This is like the classic DW beater, and I've been using one of these.
Yeah.
For at least 10 years.
How did you find the weight in them?
I always found them to be a little heavy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I grew to be used to that weight.
Yeah.
So it became less of an issue, and I think for me it became a little bit more of an asset in the end, because I mean, I used it with the hard side rather than the felt side. Yeah. And again, it gives that click to it, but it also gives a good thump, a good solid thump. Yeah. And certainly, it's in the last 10 years for gigging, I kind of just grew to like that sound. Okay. That it became something that I just you know, I got very accustomed to it. I'm not sure I really ever wholly got like accustomed to the actual weight of the thing, because it's not. I mean, it's not tremendously heavy. I mean, I'll argue that that's actually. You know what? Now I've got them in my hand. Yeah, this is the low boy. I mean, there's probably not much in them, but at the same time, you know, they both give it a nice amount of click, and they also both give a nice amount of thud too. I mean, obviously the click is on the front end, your side of things. The thump and the sound is on the other side of the head.
Yeah.
You know, out of the drum. But you know, they're a different. They're a different kind of feel, which I found. I mean, having sort of spent, as I said, a long time using the DW, and you know, having a reasonable amount of playing time on the lowboy now as well. They've given a similar-ish type sound and have a similar-ish type feel whilst still remaining different.
Yeah.
The lowboy, I've got to admit, kind of. I think there's a visual thing there as well. Maybe
it looks cool. It does.
Yeah,
look like
it
a cool
looks
beater.
cool. It's a little different. I think probably, well, you know, I'd say probably the surface area of the two is probably not too far off the same. Yeah. I mean, these obviously you can get in different sizes as well.
You can get them with felt on the end as well.
You can get them with felt. You can get. I think there's a plastic one. You can get to all sorts. You get like a speed version, which is about half the. It sort of cuts off at about where that ring is. But you know, it's. Yeah, I mean, this is something that I wanted to try, and I wanted to try it for a while, and then it kind of I finally got hold of one, and I was like, okay, it's different. I think it's just that it's a weight issue. Yeah. If you're not used to, so if you're used to this, I mean, this is off the Axis pedal, the Axis stuff, and like with the Trick stuff as well, and the Tama Speed Cobra. Mm-hmm. These are designed for faster playing, so there's obviously less mass involved with it, but at the same time, it's still quite weighty. But
it's heavy.
It's fairly heavy for what you think it's going to weigh, but you've also got quite a lot of surface face there, and again, with it being a hard, it's not too dissimilar from the low boy. You know, I mean, you still get, because it's a hard plastic, beater in whole. You still get a lot of that initial attack, which again, obviously, if you're playing speed stuff, Axis pedals very very popular with speed metal players and stuff. What you want is a lot of click, and you want to be able to move the pedal quickly and the beater quickly, and. Because there's not, you know, I'd say arguably less to this, but I think that's probably just a visual thing rather than it actually being true. I mean, because you sort of feel the difference between the two of those. You'd think immediately that one was the heavier one, the DW, but in actual fact, I don't think there's really that much difference in weight between the DW and the Axis, but it's just that this looks like it would be lighter.
Mm-hmm. So, going off from talking about obviously like the hard kind of surface, we've got this one,
which just looks funny.
Which I think looks awesome, to be honest. Like, I really like it.
I mean, it goes well on the gong.
It goes well on the gong, exactly. But is this the Vic Firth? Is it called the Bomb or something like that?
I can't remember what it's actually called now.
I'm sure the packet's down here somewhere.
It's the Fleece. Yeah.
Okay, so. Obviously, we're going to get a completely different sound with this, compared to this.
So, but obviously, going back to the type of music that you play, which one, given you've got a fairly broad sort of spectrum of options here, you being a lighter player playing jazz, I mean, this is specifically designed for lighter playing and sort of, you know, and the thing is, I think if you've not actually had a chance to try one of these, this might actually seem a little bit more deceptive, because there's actually nothing fluffy or light about it in the sense that there's like a hard rubber core in there, and you can hit it quite hard and it actually will hurt, you know. So I don't recommend doing that.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, I spent a little bit of time playing this, and it definitely does give a more muffled tone and a more muffled sound, which is like I said, I mean, but you've got the hard rubber inside as well, and that actually does give quite a lot of punch, and it's probably deceptive how much punch you're going to get from it. But I mean, out of the ones like here, which would you sort of gravitate more as a sort of a lighter player?
I would definitely look at this one. I've never tried this, but it interests me. I'm assuming this is just like a soft, spongy rubber.
Yeah, it's like a bouncy ball that they've just basically stuck a metal.
Kind of feels like a squash ball type thing.
It's a cajon beat. It was designed for a cajon.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Ah, that's interesting. But presumably you can use it on a bass drum as well.
Mike actually uses it on bass drum.
Does he?
Yeah.
Ah, interesting. I'd be interested to try that, actually.
Now, he told me that he was surprised at the low end that comes from that. The thing that I noticed most really about that was the fact that it was it's because it's basically a rubber bouncy ball.
Yeah.
It was the actual physical attributes of
Does it kind of spring off the head?
It's very springy, yeah.
Interesting.
It's very springy.
Because there's that, and then obviously I've never tried a cork beater either, but this is
obviously... Yeah, you know what, I'd love to say what the
solid.
sonic properties of that are, but I mean, couldn't tell you.
That's absolutely solid.
And I'd hate to think how old that is as well, because I must have had that for at least 30 years.
Thanks.
It's very old. Yeah.
I mean, so talking about springy then, we've got these two, okay?
Yeah.
Now, these are two I'm quite interested in. This is the Flex Beater by a guy called Rich Farrago. And this is the Vic Firth one that I think was designed by Peter Erskine.
Yeah.
And they're both designed to try and feel like sticks. In the way a stick rebounds, these rebound as well. So you've not got a solid metal shaft like this. So you're not kind of getting that impact.
Yeah.
These react in the same way as a stick. I've only played this one for a small amount of time, but I did like it. These I do really like. I suffered terribly with Achilles tendonitis in both my ankles, and I got these, and they're light, and because of that spring, I don't really get much pain playing. Whereas I did use the DW one and this sort of thing, and I did feel it in my Achilles.
Right. So I've never had any problem. Have you?
No, never.
So I definitely I really like this beater. I've not played with this one enough to really try it. I know we did try one in the studio.
Yeah.
But again, it's got that hard. It's kind of the same as that one almost. Kind of end that hard
I
rubber
was
ball.
surprised at how much sort of low end that gave. See, I mean, I think but this though the Flex Beater, I mean. So on the camera you can sort of see there's a very distinctive bend there. It's not something like we were talking about. I mean, this particular beater design works well when you're doing something other than singles, because I think if you're just doing singles, it kind of doesn't feel very different to me. It doesn't really feel that different to me at all. It's when you're doing doubles or a more complicated pattern that involves multiple notes, then you really do you can feel that there is some flex there, and you're feeling that there's a little bit of an extra sort of assistance almost with you playing the notes and stuff. And it's I like the fact that it's got the weights on it. That's cool. It was playing these beaters recently that kind of reminded me what a felt beater actually sounds like, because it had been so long since I'd not played one.
Yeah.
It was kind of nice to go back and think, actually that really is actually quite a punchy sound. It's not obviously got the front end click to it, but it's got a nice, good, solid, punchy sound.
Yeah.
And like I said, with these ones, if you've got like a medical benefit almost from
I mean that was
playing.
That was when I started using them, and now I've continued using them. I think they're I really really like them. I mean, certainly
You haven't tried
You know?
these, have you?
No, I don't know if it's something straight away I'd like the thought of. I think it'd be great if you say there's one thing seeing things, and then when you actually play them, they can be misleading. Really, but I don't know if that's the sort of thing I'd like.
Yeah, you know what? It's not. You get more flex out of doing this now
Yeah.
than you actually get
Yeah.
when you actually used it. But I think it's something you could probably look to try. I mean, that's that. Thank you for watching. Hope that was of some interest, and we'll see you in the next one.